I thank you for everybody in this virtual worship service. Lord, this is new to us. This is weird for us. But Lord, you're in control and you're working all things out for your good. So I pray, Lord, that as we worship tonight, Lord, it won't be long, God, but I pray that we can truly just meet with you. We can meet together as a youth group, not face to face, but phone to phone, I guess, Lord. And I pray that most of all, you'll be glorified. In your Son's name, we ask all these things. Amen. Yeah, stand and worship with us. There's a camera. We're doing Promise Maker. What is Waymaker? just want to spend this time now to give you the opportunity just to pray for our country, to pray for our country's leaders, to pray for all the people affected by the virus, whether they're sick with it or they have family members sick with it, or even the businesses that are being affected, that people are losing money, losing jobs, and whatnot. So y'all just get in groups or by yourself in your bedroom, wherever you're at, and pray. We'll give you 1 minute, and then one of us is going to close us out in prayer. And then we got a song and a message, and we should be out in about 20 minutes, if not more, or less time. So y'all pray now. I lift up a prayer to you, God, for this virus and everybody affected by it. It seems like the entire world is affected, maybe even infected, God. But we pray that you will be with all of us, God, that you'll be with the leaders of our country, with the president, and everybody in the medical profession that are just trying to lead our country in the proper ways. God, I pray that you'll be with the people that are sick, the people that are isolating themselves because they're vulnerable or whatnot, Lord. We ask that you can just comfort them. And God, as I've been praying for the last week, I boldly ask that you can just stop this virus, God, that you can do all things. Lord, as we'll see a little bit later on, that you're the sustainer and the creator of everything, God, that you can move in mighty ways. And so we pray for a miracle, God. We pray this bold prayer, God. But if you choose not to stop this virus, Lord, we ask that you can be good through it, God, that you can comfort us through it, that you can not leave us alone, God, that you're here and that we'll feel your presence. In your son's name, I ask these things. Amen. Hey guys, we got one more song, y'all. Sing Good Grace with us.
One.
So I have been back and forth on doing this live stream or recording a message at all. Last night I was thinking I'm not going to do this, but I really got to praying. One, I really missed this, so I really want to do it. But two, I don't want us to get out of the habit of meeting together. I don't know how long we're going to be like this until April 1st for sure, but it might extend longer, it might not. But I don't want us to lose what we have going on Wednesday nights. And so I want us to join together forever how long we're doing this. And I'm going to be short and concise with my message. It's not going to be 30 minutes like we normally do. But I do want us to worship together, and I want us to study God's Word together. So I was praying about what should I talk to you guys about tonight. We just finished our series on the I am statements. Y'all can comment your favorite I am statement in the comments. I want to read those and see what your favorite one is. But we were supposed to start a series on prayer this week, and I put that aside. And tonight I just want to talk to you about what's on my heart. And I want to show you 4 things that God's been teaching me in the past week or the past couple of days, just through everything going on around us. And the first truth that I want us to see is that only God is eternal. Only God is eternal. So I've been keeping up with this coronavirus news for a while now, since it came in China and had that massive epidemic. And I felt pretty sure that school was going to be canceled. And I thought, and I was reading a thing on Twitter a couple weeks ago that said, expect a major disruption in your life. And I was reading that, and I remember thinking, that's not going to happen here. There's no way. And then I see, things start to shut down. And I would have never guessed that church would stop. That would have never been in my wildest dreams. And I love meeting with you guys. I love teaching. I love just being with y'all and hanging out. Surrender is my favorite night of the week. I tell you that all the time. The best week of the year is Mission Fuge, but the best night of the week is Surrender. And so I woke up this morning, and no lie, I was a little depressed. And I was just laying here, why get up? What's the point of my life right now? We don't have to surrender, what's the point? I also love sports. That's not, a hidden thing. And there are very few nights when I don't go home and I turn on some type of game. Whether it's basketball, it's basketball season now. Should be basketball season now. Turn on a game of that. Braves baseball was supposed to start next Thursday. I was pumped up about that. Keeping up with all the off-season deals, all the transactions, no trades for the Braves. But I was really excited about opening day next week. And I was also even supposed to go to the beach next week for spring break. And I had been looking forward to that trip for months. And then that was canceled. And sports were delayed. And church was canceled. And so I was thinking, with school being out, with church services being canceled, with sports going on hiatus, with the stock market doing badly, with entertainment canceling and delaying their filming and their events. It shows us this truth, that only God is eternal. It shows us the reality that nothing on this earth will last. That nothing is guaranteed in this world. I know some of you, this is very real to you right now. For some of you, your sports season is in limbo. You don't know if you're going to continue playing. You don't know if it's going to be canceled. For some of you, you're really worried about prom. Right? You already bought your dress. You already rented your tux. You're really looking forward to that, and it might be canceled. Seniors, you're probably thinking, am I going to get to walk across that great stage? Am I going to get to graduate? For some of you, you may feel like everything you've worked for, the hard work you put in with sports and school and everything else, it might go for waste. You might be thinking, like, all this stuff that I was looking forward to, like, I showed you mine, like, all the stuff I was looking forward to, it was all for naught. Like, what was the point? And I can't comfort you. There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to make it all appear. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I'm really empathizing with you and for you. But it shouldn't be a surprise. The Bible tells us this fact. In Proverbs 27:1, it says, "Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring." You don't know. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know what tomorrow brings. And guys, I tell you this all the time, but nothing will last. Nothing in this world is guaranteed. And there's only one worthy of our devotion. There's only one worthy of our attention. There's only one worthy of our lives, and his name is Jesus. Guys, only God is eternal. So something that God's been teaching me through these past few days is to invest in the eternal. Let's not spend our lives investing in the temporary and the worldly that won't last. If that hasn't been proven to you in the past week, then it will never be more proven to you that these things won't last. These things you hope for, these things you work for will not last. But your relationship with God will last. People and the souls of men will last. So invest in those things. The second thing that God's been teaching me is that spiritual isolation is not beneficial. Spiritual isolation is not beneficial. So we've seen that the government has put strict guidelines about being around people. The term social distance is thrown out. Social distancing. I've never heard of that term before. I've heard it more in the last week than I've ever heard in my entire life. Has anybody ever gotten an email from like every single company that you subscribe to in the past week? These are all our social distance guidelines, right? It's all out there. You've seen all the measures that have gone into place, which is why we're watching this video right now, which is why we're not in this room, because we can't have groups of 10 or more. There's 8 of us in here now, right? So we made that one. We're supposed to be social distancing. And we need to, as Christians, be socially responsible. We need to practice that. We need to do what they say. We need to avoid large groups. It might mean possibly taking a break from visiting your grandparents or vulnerable groups for a while. Like, we need to wash our hands. I sprayed everybody down with Germ-X and Lysol before they walked in. Right? Stay home if you're sick. We need to be responsible. We need to practice physical isolation. But in the next few days, let's not practice spiritual isolation. Proverbs 18:1 says, "Whoever isolates himself seeks out his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment." Dietrich Bonhoeffer, he was a Christian in Nazi Germany. Maybe you've heard me mention him before. But he said this. He said, "Sin demands to have a man by himself. The more isolated a person is, the more destructive the power of sin is over him." Let me read that again, because that's such a good truth. It says, "Sin demands to have a man by himself. The more isolated a person is, the more destructive the power of sin is over him." As one of the enemy's strategies is to get believers isolated so he can take them out. Have you ever watched the Discovery Channel? Maybe that's something y'all should watch in the next few weeks, right, to learn something. But if you've ever watched the Discovery Channel, you know that lions attack the animals isolated from the rest of the herd first. That's who they go after. Not the ones surrounded with the herd. And every follower of Christ needs a community. This is why church is so important. Like, we don't just come to church because it's something that we need to do to check off our checklist. It's so that we can have a community, so we can be surrounded by other believers. Because the best way to overcome temptation is to have a group of like-minded and like-hearted people to run with. And so lies the problem with this virus. Right? We can't meet together physically. We may not be able to meet as a large group together, but we can still have our community, and we can still not spiritually isolate. So if you noticed, last Thursday, or maybe it was earlier than that or later than that, I don't remember exactly, but I set up text message groups so that you can still text with your peers. Right? Take advantage of that. Send them your prayer requests, send them your prayer concerns, send Bible verses that you read, right? Talk about the devotions that we're doing in it. Ask questions. Share what's on your heart. Like, take advantage of that. Form a community. I've also sent your parents our Sunday school lessons. So hopefully, you can get together as a family and you can learn together. Encourage your parents to do that with you. Grab your family and y'all huddle together one day this week and talk about this lesson, and y'all can worship together, meet together spiritually. Call one another. Text each other. Check up with each other about your walk with God. Don't try to do it alone. We try to do that even when we're meeting together. Try to do everything ourselves. But in this time, let's not spiritually separate. Let's spiritually congregate. The third thing that God's been teaching me is to use your time wisely. To use your time wisely. So most every one of you expressed at some point that one of the biggest obstacles that you have in growing in your relationship with God is that you don't have time to do it. Right? So I was like, John, I'll read my Bible, but I just don't have time. John, I was supposed to come to Surrender and I really wanted to, but we had practice and ran late and I was just tired. I just didn't have time. Get this. You literally have nothing to do right now. Literally. There are no practices or games. There's no school or homework. You can't go out to eat with your friends. You can't go to the movies. Right? You can't even come to church. You have nothing to do. Zero. So instead of using all of your time binging Netflix or playing video games or watching YouTube or scrolling Instagram, use some of that time to really lean into God. Proverbs 15:14 says this: a wise person is hungry for knowledge while the fool feeds on trash. Did you hear that? Wise feeds on knowledge, the fool feeds on trash. Be hungry in the next few weeks for your walk with God. The problem, though, is that pursuing God isn't always easy. Right? It doesn't come from mindlessly scrolling through TikTok. God isn't available, or God is always available, but He isn't available unless we intentionally pray about it and work through it and work for it. Now, I'm going to do everything I can to help you with that. Guys, please take advantage of the resources I send you. Please do the things I ask you to do. And one of those things is I sent you out those devotions. How many of you are doing the devotions? Well, I guess you can't raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're in your bedroom. Or give me a thumbs up on the Instagram feed. Right? If you're doing those devotions, do them. Study them. But more than that, let's be in our Word. Let's be in the Bible. Study Scripture. Not only study Scripture, let's memorize Scripture. Read a book that will help you understand God better. And if you don't have a book or if you don't know what to read, come by and I'll give you a book. Listen to sermon podcasts. Watch our church's live stream on Sunday morning. All right, watch other sermons on YouTube. If you have a question about who should watch, text me and I'll send you some solid people to listen to. I can almost 100% confidently say that you will never have another time in another season of life where everything is completely shut down. Right, I was talking to an older gentleman earlier this week, and he said, John, I'm 79, and I don't remember this happening ever in my entire life, where everything is shut down. So let's use it wisely. For me, I'm always rushing. I always have something to do. I always have somebody to talk to. I always have a game or practice to watch for you guys, right? I'm always busy. And God has been reminding me the last few days that sometimes we just need to slow down by taking away everything else, by pressing into Him. I was thinking this the other day, I was talking to one of my friends, but he said we might find like in the next few weeks, those who are truly Christians, who truly want to walk with God, who truly want to grow their walk with God, and those that just come to church socially and just come to church because they're supposed to. The last is this, is do not fear. Don't fear. How many of you are fearful? How many of you are worried about everything that's going on? Many of you have expressed that to me. Many of you have texted me or said something to me that you're worried. And you're not alone. Like, I'm worried too. Let me tell you some of my worries. Like, I'm not worried about getting the virus, right? I can deal with being sick for a week. But I'm scared about losing the youth group, right? I only have you guys for 6 short years. I know that seems like forever for you guys. But it's 6 short years, and I won't get this time back. Seniors, I don't know if you're watching, but I pray you are, but seniors, like, it's definitely hard for you guys, because I only have a few months left with y'all. And then y'all are gone, and I won't get this time back. I'm scared about our church. Like, what does it look like for not meeting for a few weeks? I'm scared about our economy, right? Especially small businesses and service industries in our community, right? Go shop, go get takeout from one of our small businesses. I'm scared of the tons of people who are already lonely and now have to isolate themselves. I'm scared for the vulnerable who have serious issues if they get sick. Right? There are tons of things that I'm worried about. But here's my choice. Here's what I'm faced with. I can constantly play out the worst case scenarios in my head. I can constantly keep thinking about and stressing about all these things. Or I could do this. I could just trust God. That's the choice that all of us face. In Matthew 6:34, it says, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Jesus says that your life is more than anything that this world offers. Your life is about trusting the God who eternally values you. In these days, and even beyond, remember that God is in control. He is the creator and the sustainer, and nothing happens that he doesn't allow. Why he allows this, why he's allowing this, I have no clue. Don't know. That's what I keep asking God. But he is worthy of our trust. So in these days, let's choose worship over worry. Let's choose peace over panic. Let's choose faith over fear. Guys, fear is a sign of unbelief in God. So how do you have peace in the middle of a pandemic? How do you have faith over fear? This is the answer. You trust Jesus with your life. So to all the people in this room and to the people watching and the people in our youth group or even beyond, I want to close it with asking you this question. Have you trusted in Jesus? Have you placed your faith in him? Have you trusted him for salvation? Guys, there's one disease to fear most. And it's not heart disease or AIDS or Ebola or cancer or COVID-19. It's sin. And the solution for that is not isolation from the world, but it's reconciliation with the Father. Look to Jesus. Trust in him. Turn your life over to him. Guys, pray with me, and then we're done. Father God, I thank you for your word. I thank you that you are, God, worthy of our trust, even in uncertain times. God, when we look around and it seems like everything is in chaos, everybody's panicking, God, that you'll give us peace. Where in Psalm 46:10, you say, be still and know that I am God. And God, right now we have no choice but to be still. And so I pray in the next few weeks that we can really just lean into you and we can learn from you and we can use this sabbatical to really grow in our walk with you. Lord, be with my youth group, be with these guys, these students. Lord, help us be a light to the world that is looking for answers. God, help us be helping hands for people that may be scared. Lord, use us in this time. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Hey guys, I love you. See you soon.